Okay, it is September 14th, 2022, Travels with Lucky, and we are on our way up to Noble Lake, which is in the Tobacco Root Mountains. It sits at about 9,025 feet altitude, and we drove up here. We turned on Noble Fork, and immediately as we turned on Noble Fork, we were glad that we had a nice little four-wheeler. It's an Axis 700. We haven't taken it on too many steep mountain roads, so this will be a good test. And we are heading up the main road. Definitely you need a little four-wheeler, 4x4. You really wouldn't want to go with your truck. It'd get beat up pretty bad. Although I suppose some could. But the reason we call it Noble Lake Adventure Glitch, you will discover about halfway through this video. It was quite an exciting time, and it was even more of an adventure when I found out exactly what happened, not until I got home, but you will find out halfway through. All right, so you can see how steep that climb is. We're heading up this terrain. We've never been back here before. It's in the Tobacco Root Mountains. It's not a hidden treasure, so I can tell you that's where we are headed, up to Noble Lake. And once we got to the rock that tells you where to turn to go to the lake, there was also another road, so we decided to keep on going up this road way up into the mountains. It was a pretty nice day because the smoke wasn't so bad. If you've been following the forest fires in Montana and Idaho, it's been pretty severe, but we had a little bit of rain the night before, and so with that bit of moisture, it did clear out the lane. All right, so there's just a mountain stream coming down the road. This, of course, is fast forwarded. We are definitely not going this fast up the mountain. One thing we did notice is that along the side of the road there were some, see that? I don't know if you can see it right there, but you'll see it here in a little bit. I kind of stopped and talked about them, but there's these blue spray painted marks on the road. You can see how rocky it is. You know, I used a GoPro in filming this, and it tends to flatten out the road, so you don't get the best perspective about how steep some of these areas are, and actually how rough the terrain can be. Well, we just kept going up this road because we were curious. There's also a ghost town which I'm on the lookout for, called Lederman Ghost Town. Didn't last too long, and I don't even know if there's any buildings left for that. So we kind of went up here thinking, well, maybe we'll stumble upon that ghost town. Well, not to get your hopes up, we didn't stumble upon it, but I am still hopeful that we'll find it. We're going to try to get some better maps so that we can actually find that ghost town. It looks kind of interesting. I think it was in operation. It was a mining town. You know, it was a miners area, and there were actually some building structures and so forth. But we didn't come across them on this adventure. Mainly we wanted to get up to Noble Lake before it gets too cold in the season. But it was fun going way up in the mountains. We're just keep traveling up there, and actually here we decided we would turn around and head back down. Probably be good to get out and stretch a little bit.
Yeah, that's great. What's out, lucky boy?
Well, we've traveled about 10 miles up the mountains here. We're past Noble Lake, And we're gonna head back down because we didn't really intend to go up this far. We just wanted to check out the country a little bit. This is just an open mountain meadow. We're stopping here just to take a break, shed some clothes. And it's a pretty nice day to be up in the mountains. Little bit smoky, unfortunately. But I'm just gonna walk down the trail a little bit. Lucky's coming behind me here. So I'm just gonna walk a little bit down this trail. It's a lot steeper than what it looks on the video. Definitely need a good off-road rig. You wouldn't want to come up here in a four-wheel drive truck. I mean, you could, but it's pretty rough going. So that's a pretty steep drop off. It's beautiful. Here comes my ride. Some raspberries. This would be a good place to come picking raspberries. Look at these wild raspberry bushes. That's nice. Have to remember this spot. Of course, we're too late for the raspberries, obviously. Usually the third week in August is your best picking time. I'll have to somehow try to remember that. There's nothing better than mountain raspberries. Look at all of them. Wow. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is my ride coming down. Can you hear them? Here they come. That's an Axis 700. This is our first big mountain trip. We've put over 100 miles on it so far, but we just haven't gone up on any steep terrains like this. But I was a little bit more prepared today, packed a lunch, and we're gonna make a day of it. Actually, we're headed to Noble Lake. I'll follow them down a little bit. See, Lucky's got my spot. Kind of nice to get out and walk. But it's also nice not to have to walk all the way up the mountain. Well, this is pretty cool. I can follow pretty good, keep up the pace. So I'm just gonna keep walking on down here. They got some markings here on the tree. I don't know if that was for the forest fighters when there's a forest fire, or if that's an indicator to go up to some other areas. I'll have to see if I can research that a little bit. If anybody knows, you can mention it in the comments. But somebody has gone through and definitely made some directional marks. So like this tree has some other indicators, so you can see back in there too, that tree's marked. And actually there's all kinds of marks. I kind of have a feeling that was done during a forest fire, because I did see some big burns. Well, onward. Of course, this is all granite rock everywhere. There they are up ahead, quite a ways. That's okay, I'll just keep walking. Looks like they're gonna wait for me. Yeah, so that was those have to be marks from a forest fire. You can see the remains. I don't know when this forest fire took place. This is a little bit of a scary time to be out in the mountains because it is forest fire season. There's a lot of fires all over Montana and Idaho. Smoke's blowing in, but today the smoke wasn't so bad. So there we definitely have the remains of a fire. So anyway, that was the road going up there that we just came off of. Having a good time there, Lucky? Huh?
Lucky's having a good time.
Okay, so this is Wisconsin Creek, and we are on the turn that takes us up to Noble Lake. But this was kind of fun to see all this water, so we stopped here and actually let Lucky get a little soaking because he loves the water so much.
There you go. Oh.
sure what creek this is, but Noble Creek, Indian Creek, Wisconsin Creek. It's Wisconsin Creek. Yeah, I should know. We used to have Wisconsin Creek running through our house. This is way up top. That's cool. Haven't been here before. It's really roaring. Nothing like the sound of a roaring creek. Okay, so my ride's coming back over. Okay, so now we are headed up toward Noble Lake, and in the beginning I think I mentioned it's at an elevation of 9,000 feet. This last little bit going up to Noble Lake is pretty steep, and what we didn't know at the time was how terribly rocky it was going to get. So just keep a watch here and you'll see what I'm talking about. And this is the section coming up here real quick, which also began the excitement in this adventure. You'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're getting into a more rocky area coming up here. I mean, it's just like a lot of rocks. And then it just seemed like just before you know it, it's like really rocky. So just keep watching here. You'll see what I'm talking about. It never really looks that bad in the video. It's always smoothed out, but we did run into some pretty good rocks here. Just keep watching. You'll see what I'm talking about again. It's coming up. Okay, so yeah, we ran into some really rocky terrain. I'm gonna walk up here and take a little bit of the load off. It's a little tricky, actually. So I'm not sure how he's gonna traverse up here, but we'll just hope for the best. Kind of makes me wonder if we're on the right pathway, but I suppose we are, because we're heading to a high mountain lake. Maybe he's just going all the way back down. Yeah. This would be nice in a way if we had somebody who knew their way around. But it's fun to explore. So that's what adventures are all about. Yeah, this is really rocky terrain. Mike's used to the mountains with four-wheel drive trucks, but you know, every situation is a little different. Dang. So I think he can turn around here. Yeah, so we'll turn around here. Be a little better. Okay, so I'm gonna walk down here and just kind of follow them. See these big boulders and everything? Pretty rough. Well, there they go. That was a pretty rough terrain there. Well, there they go. Well, as I'm walking around, I'm really looking for bear scat, but so far I'm only seeing the remains of the cows. Oh wow, this would be a good fishing spot. Beautiful. That's not a bear, that's Lucky. Okay, so we had our picnic and our thrill, and we're heading on back down. It was really a fun day, even though we didn't actually get to see the lake. We will get there eventually, and stay tuned for that adventure. But now, after the fact, as I'm narrating this, I realize why we didn't continue on. What a great husband not to worry me, and he had to drive all this way back down without any brakes. Oh my gosh. Well, it's beautiful up there, and that's where we were, up there in that area. About 9,000 feet. That's about 4,000 higher than where we live. We live at about 5,000. So now that was Noble Fork. Well, that's where we were. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for watching.